last time we learned about bread, the definitions of bread, and we mentioned something called pat haba'a bekisnin. It's bread that is filled up with something, or it's cake. What is the difference between cake and bread? I'll give you an example. I'm Israeli. If you take a cinnamon challah to Israel and you ask them, what is that? They'll look at it and say, oh, it's cake. It looks like a challah, but it's cake. It has a lot of sugar inside, oil, cinnamon. It's cake. They can eat it with the coffee for breakfast on the way to work. I'm sure in many places in the States, a cinnamon challah is a normal challah. There's something called pat haba'a bekesanin. It's bread, but the way it's made, it causes it to be considered as something we don't eat as a main part of the meal, and the blessing on it will be mezonos. The rabbis, the poskim, mention 3 types of those cakes, so those breads which become cakes because the way they are made. And I'm reminding us, those things are made out of wheat. They are baked. The thing is, since they have something in it, it changes its definition from bread to cake. So the first thing which is mentioned is if this bread has fillings. Rogalach, for example, or croissant. If you come to Israel, the next time you visit Israel and you go to a coffee shop, you'll probably have a cake with it. The cake will be dough filled up with something like a pocket or like a kiss. If the filling is sweet or like nuts or cinnamon or spices or things like that, this changes the definition from bread to cake. Another definition is if the dough itself is different. For example, the dough itself has a lot of oil, a lot of milk, a lot of sugar, a lot of spices. A normal cake we eat, a brownie for example, has mainly sugar and eggs and other things. Less flour. There's so much sugar inside it that it changes the definition from bread to cake. A common example for it is a sufganiyah, a donut we love so much to eat on Hanukkah. There's a good question what blessing we say on donuts. Luckily, the donuts isn't just a simple dough. It has inside it also other ingredients like sugar and spices which make the bracha to be mezonos. The last definition of the 3 definitions of pat haba'a bekisanin is something that is called in Hebrew koses. We bite small, we nibble into it. It's not food, it's something we nibble into it. For example, pretzels. Pretzels are baked. They're made out of wheat, but it's not eaten as the main part of the meal. It's something we nibble into it. That thing, crackers, the same thing. Since it's not bread, it's something which, by definition, we view it as something that we nibble at it. That's called mezonos. So let's summarize. We have 3 things that cause bread to become bread to mezonos. If it's filled up with ingredients, if the dough itself has other ingredients, or if it's something which is nibbling into it. Next time, we will go a bit deeper into one of the definitions when the dough itself has things which are added to it, and we will ask, what do we say on pizza? What bracha do we say on pizza? What blessing do we say on rolls? Or what blessing do we say on a cinnamon challah?